Today we are summing up and choosing the best video games released over the past year. Tenth place, Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. You can always count on From Software when it comes to reviving their long-standing series Armored Core. The game promised giant robots shooting each other, and we would be damned if they didn't cope with the task. A huge amount of customization, the excitement of shootouts, the absurd scale of mechanical bosses, this is definitely a test of strength that will test your patience and readiness to change kits in flight. But it's still fun to play. Again, this proves that From Software is much more than just all things Souls. Ninth place, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Despite the fact that the start was quite difficult, there is no denying that Cal's second adventure was a worthy continuation of the fantastic foundation of Fallen Order. A plot that immerses you in Cal's despair in front of the Empire, a huge world, and a complete refinement of lightsaber combat, chopping stormtroopers has never been so much fun. Where they will go from here is unknown, but we are all secretly hoping that we will get a chance to further explore C's willingness to embrace the dark side. We also express our condolences to Rick, the door technician. What a legend.
These are... Where's that? Don't worry, probably no big deal.
Eighth place, HiFi Rush. This game appeared completely unexpectedly and immediately amazed everyone upon arrival. One of the most successful shadow premieres in gaming history, HiFi Rush was the perfect combination of Devil May Cry and an anime rhythm game, populated with catchy tracks, elegant animation design, and a funny cast that will constantly entertain you as you pass through bright stages. Even if you are tone deaf and cannot keep a beat to save your life, the fun that Chai and others bring to the table is too good to miss. Seventh place, Final Fantasy XVI, Yoshi P just does not make mistakes. Taking the beloved mythology, giant monsters, and world-building the franchise is famous for, and fitting it into a framework reminiscent of a Song of Ice and Fire, turned out to be a Final Fantasy unlike any other. Despite the fact that some considered the transition to full-fledged action too much of a deviation from the series' turn-based roots. Clive's story of revenge nonetheless reached new heights in terms of what a Final Fantasy game can offer. Whether they be quiet moments of character exploration or cinematic boss battles that might just be some of modern gaming's best. All this time, Son continues to prove how rich he is with a soundtrack that can proudly stand next to Uematsu's classics.
The killer left the heart next to the body.
Sixth place, Alan Wake 2, you think you know what meta is. You think you know how far a game can go. Well, hold on to your Brits, because Sam Lake is here to show you that you've seen nothing. This sequel is everything fans of the original could want in terms of its own brand of survival horror. But Remedy created a game that breaks down almost every convention when it comes to blending genres, reaching far beyond the fourth wall, and incorporating live action in the wildest of ways. It's one hell of a mind trip that needs to be experienced, if only for that dance sequence. Fifth place, SpiderMan 2, we really didn't think Insomniac could pull it off, but they outdid themselves again, creating what might be the best Spider-Man to date. Swinging across New York has never felt better, thanks to traversal polished to perfection. The same goes for combat, allowing for downright brutal combinations when both Spider-Men can use their unique sets of movements. As for its story, pacing issues aside, the combination of Kraven's last hunt, the rise of Venom, Peter's fracturing relationships, as well as Miles' identity crisis, became a great continuation of the story. We really didn't think Insomniac could pull it off, but once again they outdid themselves with what might just be the best Spider-Man to date. Swinging across New York has never felt better, with traversal polished to perfection. The same goes for combat, allowing for downright brutal combinations as both Spider-Men can utilize their unique move sets. As for its story, pacing issues aside, the combination of Kraven's last hunt, the rise of Venom, Peter's fracturing relationships, as well as Miles' identity crisis, all lend themselves to an explosion of emotional payoffs that had us reeling. We can't wait for the closing chapter to round out the trilogy. Let's just hope they scrap Miles' Adidas costume by that point.
Hunters track Connors to the Harlem Fish Market.
Blizzard. I'm on it.
Fourth place, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, for those wondering if Mario's 2D glory days were long behind him, have no fear because this return to form is downright spectacular. The creativity in each level is inspiring, the amount of collectibles and challenges will have you constantly diving back in, while the new W-Seed mechanic changes everything up by altering the environment into a fever dream that Mario has to navigate to reach the goal. It's a brilliant platformer and potentially the start of the plumber's second renaissance in the 2D scene. Third place, Resident Evil 4, while the remake of Resident Evil 2 catapulted Capcom back on top, what they did with their reimagining of the fourth mainline entry has cemented them as the king of modern gaming. Taking such a pinnacle title and sprucing up the graphics is one thing, but to remake it into one of the best survival horror games of the last century is something else. Graphically it's incredible, the gameplay is beyond satisfying, while the new mechanics such as parrying seamlessly slide into place. And yes, Leon and his hair have never looked more dazzling. It's everything you could want in a Resident Evil game and is an absolute must-play for hardcore fans and newcomers alike.
Rise, rise, my servants. Sweep over Hyrule.
Second place, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild was a landmark event in gaming and one that sent Link and his franchise soaring to new heights. So how could a sequel match the impact of the original? By doubling down on what made it great and adding features that we didn't know we needed. Hyrule has never been so vast, with the sky islands and depths now adding verticality to the exploration, while the ability to fuse and create transportation, along with the means to tour. Torture Korok adds another layer to player agency and imagination. The sheer density of what is on offer here has made it the jewel in Nintendo's crown, and that's no small feat. Before we reveal our number one pick, here are a few honorable mentions: Dredge, Sea of Stars, Street Fighter VI, Dave the Diver, Starfield. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
I'll tell you a story, true soul. My life was dismantled piece by piece.
First place, Baldurs Gate 3, Larian Studios didn't just create a great fantasy RPG, they created the fantasy RPG. Using the lore and tabletop system of Dungeons and Dragons as a bedrock, they crafted a game so intricately layered that it's honestly mind-boggling. The sheer amount of choices and customization on display here is ungodly, with branching paths for literally every encounter and every class. They are as numerous as they are intricate, rewarding, and painstakingly thought out. Words truly can't do justice to what's on offer here. The narrative will have you gripped, the characters and their respective performances are god tier, and above all else, it will have you wishing to dive even deeper into its beautifully made world, whether alone or with friends in co-op. Now if you'll excuse us, we have to go start up our Dark Urge playthroughs.
Down the absolute.
Which of this year's entries do you consider the true GOAT? Let us know in the comments. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.